Hi guys, it seemed in class tonight that some of us were having a little bit of trouble with rounding decimals. If you haven't done it in a while, no big deal. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is what we call everything. So if you have a number 245.319, each digit has a name. 2 is the hundredths, 4 is the tens, 5 is the ones, or this would be just the whole number. Then you have your decimal point. Then after that is tenths, hundredths, thousands. Now, of course, it goes on forever in both directions. However, we're just going to be dealing with something a little bit reasonable here. So we are probably only going to be looking at rounding to the ones, which we call the nearest whole number. So from here over are the whole numbers. And we will also probably be looking at tenths and hundredths. Maybe thousands. I don't think there's anything that we do that is that precise. Okay, so here's what we do. Okay, you have to you're going to use something like excuse me, like this to figure out what place you're looking for. Does it say the nearest tens, the nearest hundreds, the nearest thousands? What is it they want to know? Then you're going to look to the digit right after the one that you want. Now, what I put on here is, if it's helpful to you as you're getting started, circle the digit that you need to round. Okay. If it says round to the nearest tenths, you would want to circle the 3. If it said hundredths, it would be 1. If it said whole number, it would be 5. Okay. So once you've got it circled, you are going to look at the digit right after the one that you circled. If it's 5 or bigger, you round up, which means you add 1 to the digit you're rounding to, the circled one. If it is smaller than 5, you round down, which means you leave the digit you are rounding to as is. Okay. Then you're going to get rid of all of the numbers to the right of the digit that you're rounding to. Okay. So, if I want to take 245.319 and round to the nearest tenth, tenth is that first spot after the decimal, so that's what I'm going to circle. Okay? So that's what I did in step 1. Now I'm going to look to the digit to the right. 1 is smaller than 5, so I'm going to round down, which means I'm going to leave that alone. Then I'm going to get rid of all of the numbers to the right. So I'm going to get rid of the 1 and the 9. So this becomes 245.3. Okay. All right, round 31.782 to the nearest whole number. That is the first digit to the left of the decimal. You don't have a point anything. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to look to the number directly to the right. 7 is bigger than 5. So I'm going to round up, which means I'm going to take this number and add 1 to it. It becomes a 2. Then I'm going to get rid of all the digits to the right, and my answer is just 32. Okay, last example. If I want to round 10.2487 to the nearest hundredth, hundredth is 2 spots after the decimal, so I'm looking at the 4. That's what I may or may not change. 8 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to round up, which means the 4 becomes a 5. I get rid of everything to the right, so my answer is 10.25. Okay, I promised this would be a real short video. It is just a very basic refresher on rounding. If you still have questions, be sure and get with me and we can go over some more. Good night.